Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today in this video I'm going to go over 3 upgrades that I've done to the Eachine Trashcan. In addition, I'm also going to repeat my recent test where I compared the PH, JST and XT30 connectors, but this time I'm going to use a bigger motor along with a 5-inch propeller in order to check how these connectors are going to handle a higher current. So what I've basically done is first of all to replace the PH connector with an XT30 connector. Next, I replaced the stock antenna with the KremerFPV air antenna, and finally I added 2 O-rings on the sides of the camera in order to reduce the jello. Let's start with the last upgrade. Unfortunately, just adding 2 O-rings on the sides of the camera wasn't enough, and as you can see in the following flight footage, the jello was highly noticeable. So what I've done after this flight is just to shove some paper under the camera, and then it finally did the trick and the jello was reduced. It's still not perfect, but it was much better than before. Regarding the second upgrade, the stock antenna of the trash can weighs 0.32 grams and the KremerFPV air antenna weighs 2 grams. So it adds about 1.7 grams to the weight of the trash can. And actually it will add some more weight because you will need to put some glue over here. I used super UV glue, and if you're not going to put glue in this hole, the antenna is going to be too loose and then the UFL connector is probably going to disconnect when you're going to crush it. As of the result of the upgrade, I didn't feel that the video quality was dramatically increased, and I recommend to only do this upgrade if you are going to fly your trash can inside indoor parking lot. Otherwise, if you just fly it outdoors, I think you can save the trouble and just stick to the stock antenna. Finally, regarding the replacement of the PH2 connector into an XT30 connector, I can tell you that this is something that really made a difference. And normally when you fly the Mobula 7 or the trash can, the battery drops to around 7.2 or 7 volts and then it just stays there, and when it really gets low you head back. And when using the XT30 connector, it's like flying a regular quadcopter. And what I mean by that is that your battery voltage is going to slowly decrease until you're going to reach around 7 volts. And in this point, you will need to land the quadcopter because otherwise the battery is going to be overdrained. And it happened to me where I crashed it, it got to 7 volts and then it got lower to around 6.5 volts and then it got to 4.5 volts. So if you are going to replace the PH2 connector into an XT30 connector, it's going to give you a better feedback of the status of your battery. The total weight of my trash can after the upgrades is 36.6 grams, so it's about 3 grams heavier than before. I didn't feel that the flight time was decreased, so I can estimate that if you're not going to opt in for the antenna upgrade, the flight time is going to be probably increased by 10% if you're going to opt in for the XT30 upgrade. Now I'm going to play the test where I compared these 3 types of connectors using a bigger motor and a bigger propeller, and then I'm going to go over the results. So as you can see, according to my test, the difference between the XT30 connector and the other 2 connectors was much more noticeable when the current draw was higher. In addition, one thing that I forgot to mention on my last test is the thickness of the wires that I used. So along with the XT30 connector, 20 AWG wires are used, with the JST 22 AWG, and finally the PH2 connector is using 24 AWG wires. I'm going to wrap up this video with some more flight footage, and by the way, this time the VTX was really set to 200 milliwatts. You should note that the day was very windy, so even though the trash can could handle the wind very well, it's still a small quadcopter and it can easily be affected by the wind. So I hope you will enjoy the rest of this video. As always, I thank you for watching my video. If you have any questions about the upgrade or about the trash can itself, feel free to ask it in the comment section down below. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you like this video, and consider subscribing to my channel and hitting the notification bell if you're not already subscribed. See you in my next videos, and goodbye.
I know better than to call back. I missed your call, I finally think